You too. Fuck y'all got going, man. We got some Chicago crash outs, man. Let's rock.
The youngins in Chicago might just be more wild than ever before. They truly have no regard for human life or any fear of
The fuck?
consequences.
These
In
niggas
this
got a
video,
GoPro?
we'll be telling the stories of three Chirac crashouts that gunned down cops in cold blood.
Hey, what the fuck? He on that
But
Fetty.
before we get into the video, please be sure to like and subscribe.
Monte
The first
Morgan.
crashout we'll be talking about is a man named Imonte Morgan. On August 7th, 2021, an officer named Ella French was on patrol with two other officers named Officer Yanez and Officer Blas when they pulled over an SUV with expired license plates, allegedly driven by Imonte's brother Eric Morgan near 63rd Street and Bell Avenue. According to prosecutors, Officer French walked to the driver's side of the vehicle and took the keys from Eric, who allegedly admitted that he had marijuana on him. He was ordered to get out of the car. The other officers ordered Amonte to get out of the car, and he exited with an open drink and a cell phone in hand. He allegedly refused to set the
You gonna
phone
get
down
out with the
and
drink?
soon began struggling with the
The
officers.
fuck?
As this happened, Eric tried to run and was chased by Officer Blas, while Officer Yanez continued struggling with Amonte at the back of the SUV. Those two moved toward the open front passenger door, with Officer Yanez yelling at Amonte to show his hands. As Officer French came over to assist, Amonte allegedly fired multiple shots, striking both French and Yanez in the head. Officer French was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center,
Damn,
where
he
he
got
died.
two
Officer
headshots?
Yanez was shot multiple times and
Shit.
critically wounded, but survived his injuries. He ultimately lost an eye and was left
Oh, that's
partially
sad.
paralyzed. As Officer
Damn.
Blas attempted to handcuff Eric, he heard gunshots and then saw Amonte run past. But Amonte returned to the SUV and can be seen stepping over Yanez and French's bodies on the ground on video. When Officer Blas made his way back to the
Damn. We
vehicle,
stepped over him like
Amonte allegedly
Iverson?
fired
That's
multiple shots in his
fucked up.
direction but missed as Blas returned fire. Imonte was struck but was able to flee the scene on foot before both he and his brother were taken into custody. In September 2021, Amonte was indicted on 85 counts related to this incident, and in March 2024, he was found guilty. He was
85 counts? You gone for so long that nigga, we finna be on Mars, boy.
sentenced to 2 life sentences without parole for first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder. Now, on to the next crash out. The second crash out we'll be talking about is a man named Stephen Montano. On March 1st, 2023, 18-year-old Stephen Montano and his 37-year-old girlfriend that he was living with in the 5200 block of South Spalding Avenue began arguing. During the argument, Stephen allegedly charged with his hands outstretched at his girlfriend, who stepped out of the way to avoid being struck. Stephen then threatened to get his gun. His girlfriend exited the home through a side door on 53rd Street, called 911, and reported that Stephen had a gun. As she spoke to a dispatcher, Stephen followed her. He also allegedly grabbed the phone from his girlfriend's hand, hung up on 911, and threw the phone. They continued to argue, and he went back inside the home. It was shortly after that Chicago police arrived. Two officers approached the front door of the residence and heard noise in the gangway. Prosecutors said Stephen jumped out of a window of the residence into the gangway and fled back towards the alley. An officer saw an object in Stephen's hands, believing it was a gun. Stephen encountered two neighbors in the alley and asked them if he could hide the gun in the garage the neighbors were standing in. When the neighbors
Yeah, 'cause your neighbor is gonna let you hide a gun. Why would you even ask? Just throw that bitch.
indicated that he couldn't, he entered the garage they were in and fled into the backyard of a connected residence. As he made his way through other neighboring yards, the first two officers made their way into the alley, saw Stephen, and alerted other officers to his location. As Stephen continued to flee north along Spalding Avenue past Sawyer Elementary School, Officer Vasquez Lasso responded to the scene and saw the suspect. Officer Lasso got out of his squad car, chased Steven through a gate, and entered the schoolyard area of Sawyer Elementary. Officer Lasso ordered Steven to stop multiple times. At one point, Steven looked back over his shoulder at the officer. He turned toward Officer Lasso while racking the slide on his pistol and pointed the gun at him. Both Officer Lasso and Steven fired at each other. Steven fired 5 times, and Officer Lasso was hit 3 times in the head, arm, and leg. Officer Lasso fired twice, hitting Steven in the mouth. The shooting was captured on Officer Lasso's body-worn camera.
Hit
Officer
him in the
Lasso
mouth like
collapsed
50 Cent.
immediately after being shot. Steven stumbled a few feet away into the nearby school parking lot before falling to the ground. Officer Lasso's police partner exited the squad car and approached Steven, who still tried to walk away despite being shot. Police tased and handcuffed him. They recovered the .45 caliber handgun they said was used by Steven in the shooting. Other officers began life-saving measures on Lasso. He was eventually taken in an ambulance to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he was ultimately pronounced dead. Steven faces a first-degree murder charge on top of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon and opening fire near a school building. If convicted, he will most likely spend the rest of his life in prison. Now on to the final crash out of the day.
Yeah, what the fuck did this nigga do?
For the last crash out of the day, we'll be talking about a man named Darion McMillan. Initially, just before 8 p.m. on November 4, 2024, Officer Enrique Martinez and his partner, Officer Nunez, responded to a call in the 8200 block of South Ingleside Avenue. After determining the call was unfounded, they left, but soon noticed a black Ford Escape with a Wisconsin temporary license plate double parked and blocking traffic nearby. Police found the vehicle had a fraudulent registration and a broken taillight. Officer Martinez and Officer Nunez approached the vehicle to conduct a traffic stop. Inside the vehicle were 3 individuals: a 23-year-old male driver, Darion in the front passenger seat, and a third person asleep in the back. More officers who had been dispatched to the scene initially arrived and also approached the Ford. According to police, Darion held a backpack close to his chest, ignored commands to show his hands, and eventually drew a firearm from the backpack, firing multiple rounds. The driver and Officer Martinez were struck. Officer Martinez was hit 5 times and collapsed on the side of the street. Darion pushed the wounded driver out of the vehicle and jumped into the driver's seat. Officer Brink, an assisting officer at the scene, ordered Darion out of the vehicle and grabbed his shirt in
He
an
on some
attempt to
GTA
pull him out of
6
the
type
vehicle.
shit.
Darion put the vehicle in reverse and sped backwards toward Ingleside Avenue with the driver's door still open. Officer Brink fell to the ground while the vehicle reversed and 1 round was accidentally discharged from his gun. The driver's door of Darion's vehicle hit a parked car, leaving behind heavy damage. A short time later, Darion hit another parked vehicle at 8055 South Ingleside Avenue and fled on foot. The third individual, who was asleep in the back seat of Darion's vehicle, was still in the car. Officer Martinez was transported to the University of
He was
Chicago
asleep through
hospital,
all
where he
this?
died from his wounds. The
What the
driver, who was also
fuck?
wounded in the shooting, was pronounced dead at the crime scene. Surveillance footage later captured Darion attempting to evade
That's
arrest
how sleep
and
I be,
entering a
boy.
home
I
on the
sleep through this
12th
whole
floor of
shit.
South Drexel Avenue. A caregiver in the first floor apartment of the home
Wake up
saw
at the damn
Darion go
police
into the
station and
kitchen
shit.
wearing a white shirt, black pants, and red and white Air Jordan 4s. She claims she saw Darion go into the kitchen, open one of the drawers, and grab an item. He then tried to cut the electronic monitoring bracelet he was wearing but needed a sharper knife, so he reached for a butter knife and a cutter knife, then left the home. The caregiver called 911. Just over a minute later, he was seen running down the alley behind the home and getting onto Maryland Avenue. Police said they found Darion in a white t-shirt with dirt marks, black pants, and red and white Jordans, walking on Maryland Avenue. He was detained and later identified as the suspect in the officer's shooting by other officers at the crime scene. Police then searched his car and found a .40 caliber firearm with a fully automatic
This still
scope
don't
gun on the
explain why the
cartridge.
fuck his
Darion
mugshot
is
looked like
facing
that though.
multiple charges, including 1 count of first-degree murder of a police officer, 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of attempted murder of a police officer, 1 count of residential burglary, 1 count of unlawful use of a weapon, and 1 count of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. Darion was 23 at the time of the shooting, and if
His ass look
convicted,
like a
he will
fucking
most likely
zombie,
spend
bro.
the rest of his life in prison. prison. There are
Hey,
really some people in society that don't care about anything, not even their own lives. What's crazy is that most of these guys shouldn't even have been free.
I be trying not to be a stereotype, but like, just, just look at these niggas. They just look like they did some shit. All three of them, bro. All three of them. And we gone, man. J3,